IDF ungkap rahasia memalukan rumah sakit Indonesia di Gaza.
Now let's look at what they are doing. We know Hamas hides behind civilians in Gaza. Hamas places forces and weapons inside, under, and around schools, mosques, homes, and UN facilities. Among the worst of Hamas war crimes is the use of hospitals to hide their terror infrastructure. We already revealed Hamas Command and Control Center under the Shifa Hospital. Now let's talk about two more hospitals. Hamas uses hospitals to disguise their war machine is systematic. The Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani Hospital is located north of the Gaza city along the coast. Its construction was funded by the Qatari government and it's called the Qatari Hospital. Here you can see the IDF soldiers exposing a tunnel opening. This is part of an operation, a ground operation that was conducted on the hospital and revealed a tunnel that was being used for terror infrastructures in the Qatari hospital. If it wasn't enough, this tunnel, if it wasn't enough that we exposed the tunnel under the hospital, the terrorists also shoot at our soldiers from within the hospital.
Perhatikan ada lubang menuju ke terowongan teror Hamas, seperti yang tampak dalam gambar. Nah, ini dia lubang masuk ke terowongan teror.
I will now play a video for you taken recently from Qatari hospital. You will see Hamas terrorists firing at the IDF soldiers from the inside of the hospital, a hospital funded by Qatar. We already released evidence of Hamas' use of Shifa hospital to shield its terror complex. And Hamas uses the Qatari hospital for terror as well. Today we will also release evidence that the Indonesian hospital is being used by Hamas to hide the underground command and control center. This is an Indonesian hospital. This picture was taken in 2023. You can see the hospital structures in south of the roundabout of both sides of the road. The hospital is located in northern Gaza between Jabalia and Bet Hanun. The construction of the hospital was funded by several NGOs from Indonesia.
Saudara, Rumah Sakit Indonesia di Gaza berbiaya 126 miliar dan diresmikan Wakil Presiden Yusuf Kala tahun 2015.
I will show you the reason why they built the hospital there. This picture here was taken in 2010 when the hospital was under construction. Take a look here at the area in red. They were Hamas terror outposts. Unsurprisingly, Hamas built a hospital on top of their terror infrastructures. Those outputs of Hamas had underground facilities before they started to construct the hospital, the Indonesian hospital. There are three important areas to point out. The first area is the collection of cement materials here. You can see here arches. These arches are very, very unique. It's a unique structure. It's only used for underground terror facilities for Hamas. These cement arches are not needed when building hospitals. They are used to build underground city of terror, an underground metro of tunnels.
Gaza Metro adalah sebutan untuk terowongan teror Hamas. Tahun 2021 sudah diungkap dan ini tahun 2023.
We have watched Hamas use these arches to build tunnels for many years. Instead of building homes for Gazans, he built this metro over hundreds of kilometers underneath Gaza and underneath places like hospitals and mosques. They are building underground terror infrastructures for Hamas. Here you can see the entrance to an underground tunnel. Hamas used this tunnel to access their command and control complex under the hospital. This is all satellite, and of course all these images and intelligence and more was shared with other agencies to confirm what I'm showing you now. Let's take a look at the hospital in 2020. You can see that the cement materials, including the arches, are no longer above the ground. Done. It's all underneath the ground. This is a satellite image of the hospital complex taken after the massacre of 7th of October. I'm going to zoom in on the area here. Okay? Across the street. Only 75 meters, 80 meters to the hospital. Here, the IDF identified a launch pad, meaning they launch rockets from here. I want to repeat it. They launch rockets on Israel 75 meters from an hospital. Why? They know precisely that if Israel will airstrike a launch pad like that, the hospital would be damaged. And this was part, of course, of the outpost before, in 2010. This architecture of underground facility, including launch pads. Here you see layer by layer how Hamas systematically built the Indonesian hospital to disguise its underground terror infrastructure. And we see that they use the area around the hospital as a base for terror against Israel today. Now I want to reveal evidence that Hamas steals fuel from the Indonesian hospital. Next, we will listen to a phone call from November 2nd with an official closely affiliated to Hamas terror organization. Let's listen.
نازلين نقصنا ولا عنده نقص شيء. السرعة اللي عم بوصل لسه على الشفا وعلى الاندونيسي وعلى ناصر ولا الرنتيسي وصلوا من مين؟ هذول راح يزوروا بالبرج في الخط. هذول المسؤولين اللي حكيت لك عنهم. بس المستشفيات عم بتقول لي انه عم بوصلوا لهم اياهم تعرف ناس اللي بتيجي برا عراي. السؤال في منه ولا هذا كمان لعبة اللي عم بيلعبوها حماس؟ كذابين. أنا حكيت لك امبارح كيف أنت بتشغل بتقول ليش عنده سيارات أو المحطات بتعمل بنزين وصلاح. أنا شو عايز؟ إذا المستشفى ولا المحطة والمتسجل والسيدات كل مين أنت فريق مكان.
This phone call and others can be authenticized and verified by other agencies that we send them more materials that I cannot reveal here. The agency of the United States and United Kingdom will verify these materials. This call that we intercepted reveals a few things. While Hamas screamed to the world about a lack of fuel, there is no shortage of fuel in Gaza. Hamas has the fuel. It's in the hands of Hamas. The leadership and the member of Hamas are lying. Hamas has fuel. Hamas stores this fuel underneath hospitals in Gaza, the very hospital that Hamas tells the world's running out of fuel. I will now share one last audio recording with you that we intercepted.
الآن خلالنا تقريبا 4 أيام من هذا الدكتور من خدام الاتصالات. يعني كده يعتقد أن مش لاقي صاحبه جاي امبارح صاحبه كل مصاير البريد.
Simak peran dari Dr. Atef, Direktur Rumah Sakit Indonesia di Gaza.
Hamas moves fuel from the hospital to terrorists in Jabalia, meaning moving it from Shifa to Jabalia, from Shifa Hospital to Jabalia, the same Jabalia that Ibrahim Biari, the murderous commander, was killed. They move fuel to Jabalia because Jabalia is a terror center.
Saudara, damai hanya bisa terwujud tanpa teroris. Mari bersuara untuk para sandera yang ditawan di Gaza. Salam damai dari Fakta Israel.